Hello everyone, and welcome back to Fashion with SourceOut YouTube channel. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to draft, cut and sew this gorgeous blouse worn by Ida Basse. If it's something you are interested in learning, I know this is good for you. If you are here to subscribe to this channel, please do well to subscribe, like this video and share it with your friends. Guys, let's get going. So this is the fabric I'm going to be using for this beautiful blouse. Okay, so I have the lace net and then the lining. So I've gone ahead to draft out the basic patterns, and then I'm going to go ahead and label it. So that's the bust point, the chest line rather, and then we have the bust point. We have the under bust length, and then we have the waist area, then the whole blouse length. Okay, the barrier is faint, sorry about that, guys. So what we'll go ahead to do now is to draft out our dart. Okay, so the nipple to nipple, which is the gap area of the chair of the bust, is 8 inches. I divided it by 2, that's 4 inches. I'll then add half inch to it. So I'm marking out 4.5 over there, and I'm going to mark it out on all the lines. I mean from the bust points right there to the blouse length, and then next I'm going to connect the line in a straight line like so. So guys, after connecting it, now guys, the next thing we are going to do is come to the shoulder area, okay, and then find the midpoint at the shoulder. Okay, so I'll mark the midpoint and then connect it to the dart line. Okay, so take my ruler then and connect it like so. The next thing we are going to do is come to the under bust area and then mark half inch on that inner side. Okay, the side from the edge of the fold, you mark half inch like so on the waistline, on the under bust area, like half inch on that line also. And then I'll take the ruler and draw the line down to the blouse, the length to the hem of the blouse like so. Okay, then we'll come to this other side, I mean the side to the armhole area, and then I'll mark 1.5 on the under bust length and then on the waist area like so. I'll take my ruler again and make a straight line down to the blouse length like so. Okay, so after that is done, next thing I'm going to do is make a curve. Okay, using a curve to connect the under bust line to the bust point, but the other side, the inner side, will be made straight, like it's not a curve one. Do you see? Okay, so after that is done, next we are going to place our tape rule on the starting edge and then mark 7 inches like so. Okay, so I'm just going to connect the points to the armhole line like so. All right, so after that has been done, the next thing we are going to do now is on that line, on the new line, okay, we are going to mark half inch inward and half inch outward. Next, we'll take our ruler and then connect the points to the incoming dart line like so. Okay, we'll connect to the other side and connect this side also. Okay, so after that has been done, the next thing we are going to do is, because the shape is like a sweater neck at that point at the chest area, so depending on how deep you want it to be, for me I don't want it too deep, and so that is why I just came down by 1 inch. So that means the depth will be like 8 inches. Okay, I don't want the cleavage to show, and that's why I'm using just 8 yoke, but you can go as deep as 10 inches, I mean from the shoulder. Okay, so after that has been done, I just use my curve ruler to connect it like so to form that sweater shape. Okay, so on the armhole area also, I'm going to just make a curve connect like so. All right, So we are basically done with the front. All we need to do now is impute our body circumference, and then the bust we are working with is 40 inches. So what I did basically was to divide every of my body circumference by 4. I also put into consideration all the dart points that will be cut out, and afterward after imputing all the circumferences, I went ahead and cut it out. Sorry, I had no coverage for that. So after cutting it out, this is the way we have our front. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do now is cut our back. But in cutting the back, I'm trying to glue the center to the side of the front so that we can have it accurately to cut our back. So I've glued that together and then place it on my pattern paper. I'm trying to cut out the back pattern using the front. So I'll just go ahead and mark out the zipper allowance, and the zipper allowance I'm marking out over there is 1.5. I'll mark it, and then I want to have the whole length of the front. I'll take my ruler then and connect the points for the zipper area. So now I'll just go ahead first and label that part so that we won't forget. Okay, so that's the zipper area. So from that line is where I will start. I will place my front. Okay, and then I'm going to sketch it out to have our back pattern accurately with the front also. Now that we have the pattern drafted out, I'll just go ahead and cut the whole thing out. Okay, so guys, after cutting it out, this is the way we have our back. Okay, so that is our back. I'm trying to label it, but then I realized that I would love the back too to have that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is first come to the waist area to avoid bulging at that back area, that waist area. I came in by 1/2 inch, okay, from the edge, and then I'm just going to connect that point like so, like connect it to the edge and then to the edge of the down part, like so. This is to avoid the zip bulge at the back. Okay, so after that is done, I also said that I want the back to have a dart. So what I'm going to do is cut that out. Now for the opening at the yoke area on the back, I don't want it too deep also. Remember that for our front, the depth of our front that is like 8 inches, because I said I don't want a revealing cleavage. Okay, so you can make it as deep as you desire it, 10, 12, no, depending on how open you want it to be. And so for the back also, I'm just going to be going in. Remember, we use our front pattern for the back, so I'm just going in by 1 inch. Okay, so that means I'm using for the back opening on the yoke, I want it as open as 9 inches. So I've marked that and then I connected it to the armhole area like so. Okay, so we have our back also cut out. Like I said, depending on how open you want your back to be, you can as well use 12 inches. You can use 14. I guess the one we have on the picture is like 15 inches. Okay, so all we are trying to do now is align the back with the front. You must make sure that it aligns. Okay, so next thing we are going to do is come to the edge of the draft, and then at the edge we'll come in by 2.5 inch. Okay, so that's to remember that there is a shape at the front on the dress, the same way we have it at the front. That's how it is on the back, and that's why we are trying to shape out. So from that point 2.5, I'll just make a curve connect to the center of the cut, I mean the dart area like so, and then make the curve edge to the center like so. All right, so we have it. Okay, so that is that. We'll just go ahead and cut it out. Now we have both our front and our back draft. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and then detach the center front from the side front Remember, we did that so that we'll get the back accurately. All right, guys, so the next thing we are going to do now is, now for the back, I desire that it has that also. I couldn't do it initially because I don't want the back, I want the back and the front to be accurate. So now as I'm doing it now, I'm just going to mark out 4 inches and then make a straight connect of the points, and afterwards cut it out. Now guys, I've gone ahead to use the pattern to cut out the lace and the lining, and as you can see, I added inches, half inches to the center, I added half inches to the side, and then to the other side, the front side, I had to the edge, to the armhole area, I added 1.5 inch for sewing allowance. Okay, remember when we were drafting the pattern, we didn't add any allowance. Do you see? In cutting the back also, I also did the same. For the center back, I added just half inch sewing allowance to the side, and then to the side back also, I added 1.5 inch to the side, and then the center of the center back, I did the same. I add half inch. Now what I'm going to do now is remove my pattern paper. I want to work on it to get the to work on my wording. Okay, so now for me, I want a detachable pattern. I want the wording to be sewn separately from the dress. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to work on my pattern paper to get the accurate this thing to cut out on the wording. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is come to the chest line area and then come in by 5 inch from the side. I mean, I'm working on the side, right? So the chest line area, I marked 5 inches, and then I'm going to connect that point on the chest line to the underbust point. Okay, do you see? I'll also connect that curve to the armhole area. Now I'm connecting it to the armhole area, I mean the side where the curve is on the neck. Okay, so after having that, all right, I'm just going to come to the edge of the upper part and then come in by little. I'm just using my discretion for that. It's not up to 0.5 inch that I came inside. Okay, so I just mark that out, and that is that for the side. And then from the center, okay, I'll just check out the match, and then from there, from the underbust area, I'll just make a cutout from there. Now I'm going to use the pattern to cut out my wording like so. All right, that's the center. Okay, and then I'll cut out the side. All right, so we have the wording cut out. All right, so this is the way it looks like. So guys, I've gone ahead to fix all our pieces, and this is what the front is looking like. All right, although I'm still going to trim it out to have that shape we have at the front. And also this is the lining. So what I'm going to do now is place the back on the front so that we'll know what direction to go in joining it. Remember, we are sewing the lace separately from the lining. So afterward, we are going to do a turn in sewing of the lining after fixing the sleeve. But then let's work on the main dress first. So this is the way it will stay. I'll go ahead and join this side. All right, and afterward join the lining also, and afterward I'll come back to show you what next to do. Then guys, I've gone ahead to join the wording, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is place it on the fabric like so, but in tacking it, this is a trick with it. I'll make use of my Emmy gum to fix it to it. Now the trick to stability of fixing it is the use of Emmy gum. I just make some fold of clothes to like an armrest for the wording to stay well, and then I place all the Emmy gum on it like so. And do you see it's giving that bust shape already? Do you see? So all I have to do now is to do some pressing with iron Okay, so you are just careful to press to make sure that everything is aligning and there is no fold. You just want to make sure that everything is well pressed. Of course, it took time, but I think the result is it's worth it. So this is the way it looks like afterwards. Do you see the bust area coming out already? So now we are going to go ahead and fix our back to it. Like I said, we are fixing the main dress separately from the lining so that we can do a turn-up sewing to fix the lining to it. All right, so I'm just place it that way and impute my body's measurement and then fix it. Okay guys, so after fixing it guys, this is the way it came out. I'm so sorry I lost some footing while cutting the yoke part of it. Okay, but this is the yoke for the back and you see the way it is, and then we have that's the second one for the back, and do you see the way it will stand? Okay, so for that's the neck area where the button will stay, and it's just a little edge we need for the back to fit it to the dress, and that's at the end of the day will be the opening, you see. Okay, and this is our front. I'm really sorry I lost the footing. Okay, so all I will do now is go ahead and fix it to the dress. Okay, we'll do the fixing first before doing the back. Okay, before doing the lining, before fixing the lining rather. So in fixing the yoke to it, what I'm going to do is from the center, and remember it's a suited neck, so where we place it will determine how deep the neck will be also. All I did was to measure the shoulder, the back, which is 14 inches. I divided it by 4, right? And then I marked out 7 inches over there, and that will be the starting point of the yoke. All right, so I've gone ahead I'll notch it, okay, so that we'll know the right placement. Okay, so for the back also I'll do the same, but first we'll fix the front to it, and let's have a direction of where we are going first. Okay, so that's one of it. You are making sure that the lace is placed right. Okay, so I'm starting from the center dart, and then where I notched the shoulder area, that's where it will end, in order not for it not to be too wide. I hope you got my explanation. Now the yoke is starting from that area, and then it will end at the notched part, which is the back. Remember I said the back is 14 inches, so I divided it by 4. So by the time you measure the edge of the sleeve, that edge of the fix to the other side, you should have like 14 inches if your back is 14 inches, and if it's 15, you make sure you measure it for it to be 15. For our back, this is what it will look like afterwards. Okay, that center part where my hand is where the button will be. So literally this is just the little edge that will be fixed to the back. Now from the center also, you will include your zipper area, and then you measure out the back, and then make sure that you fix it to the edge of the back measurement. I hope you got that. Okay, so now like I said, if your back is 15, you measure 7.5 from the center at the front. That should be the edge of the yoke. Okay, same thing with the back also. You start from the center, but zipper area inclusive now, and then you see the notch, and where I marked out, you just place it and make sure that the edge of the sleeve is on the notch. So guys, I've gone ahead to fix the yoke, and this is the front. You see the sewing. I hope you understand what I was trying to explain the other time now. Okay, and so for the back also, I've fixed it, and this is what the back looks like afterwards. Do you see? All right, so I'll just go ahead and fix the shoulder area, right? All right, and okay, do you see? I'm trying to show you before fixing it so that you will know the placement, right? Guys, after sewing the shoulder, this is the way we have it. All right, so you see the front. all right, and then the side, the other side, and then the back. You can see the back is taking its shape. Now the next phase is to fix the lining to it, but before that I've gone ahead to cut out the excesses and also to cut out the armhole. Can you see the armhole is taking shape already? I've also gone ahead to cut the lining for it to align with the main dress. Okay, every excesses has been cut out also, so I'll just place it like so, making sure that every sewing, every joining aligns of the main dress aligns with that of the lining. But first we'll join the down parts first. Okay, after joining the down parts, this is what it's looking like. So all I have to do now is do a thorough pressing, thorough ironing, notching everywhere that needs to be notched, and then pressing it down for us to have a good shape at the down parts. Now that that has been done, we'll proceed to the upper parts, the neck area of the dress, and then we are shifting in the sleeve and then making sure that every of the joining aligns, the lining and the main dress. But then we have to make use of pin to secure it and make sure that it is resting well. Now the whole dress has been joined, and then I just go ahead and cut off all the excesses and then turn it over and give it a good press. Now guys, this is the way we have it afterwards. You can see the inside, even the armhole area, all right, and then I'm trying to show you the back for you to see the way it will be. All right, do you see? Okay, so for that rough edges, I'll just use bias to turn it. So what we need to do is to fix the zip to the dress, and also the front does not need a bias. It doesn't need to be turned because the lace edge was used. Now we proceed to the sleeve of the dress. Now we have the fabric folded, and then I'm cutting the two sleeves together. All right, so come to the edge of the edge of the fold, the cap of the starting point of the sleeve of the fold. And then for the cap, I marked 4 inches, and then I'll mark 4 inches downward also. I make it an S connect. Okay, do you see? The chalk is not showing well on the fabric, but then please follow me as I mark it. So I mark 7 inches, I marked 9 inches, I marked 17 inches, 18 inches rather, which is the quarter of the hand, the sleeve, and also the total length is 25 inches. All right, I'm just going to extend the line for you to see better. So I marked 7 inches, I marked 9 inches, and the next is the 18 inches, and the total sleeve length is 24 inches. Okay, so I'm just going to impute the sleeve circumference round about it. So we have them pursuing allowance. I marked it. I'm trying to join the S again for you to see it. The sleeve cap, to make sure that I have the sleeve cap accurate. Now I'll go ahead and impute all other sleeve circumference, and then stop at the 3/4 area, and then come out like that because it's not a straight sleeve. Okay, so on the edge, you just draw it from the 3/4 area and make a curve to the edge of the sleeve. I don't know what to call this sleeve, but I know it's not straight. All right, so I have it that way. I'll go ahead and cut it out. Although I'm trying to make sure that you see the chalk, but then the chalk is still faint on it. So I'll go ahead now and cut the sleeve out. Now after the cutting, this is the way we have it. I'll just go ahead, sew the sleeve and fix it to the dress. So guys, I've gone ahead to fix this sleeve to the dress, and this is what the zipper area to look like. You can see the back opening. All right, so all I have to do now is go ahead and fix the bias to the neck and put the button afterwards. All right, so guys, this is this, you can see the sleeve area and also the front. Guys, we have gradually come to the end of this tutorial, and as you can see, and this is the way the outfit came out on my clients. Very beautiful. Guys, thank you for staying true to the end of this tutorial. See you in my next tutorial. Bye bye.